Hey, what's good with the YouTube, man? It's your boy Rojo, and this is a Convict's Perspective. Joined as always by my boy Big Flacco from a Convict's Perspective, as well as Real Talk with Flacco. Check it out if you haven't checked it out, man. We're coming through with a little bit of energy today, man. We got a great topic, man. Flacco just hit me up, and I had to get out of bed to do this one because I like it. What's up, Flox?
Well, before I go into the topic, I'm going to come to I'm explain how this came about. So yesterday I was talking to a Tango Blast, and he was telling me about the issues with the Texas syndicate, the Texas Mexican enemy, and basically how they started to form themselves, right? Which was kind of similar to what's going on now, which was a lot of individuals were being utilized and so forth, right? Texas syndicate was ordering them to do removals. If they didn't do it, they were getting hit, bringing dope and so forth, right? Now, this is what this is what this topic is going to be about. I really think, we have a current big three right now, and the Africanos are just kind of scattered amongst their faction. I think the fourth one, right, which I've discussed this before, so did someone else on their channel, right? I think if they're going to integrate all these yards, I think the potential for another group to arise to come out of this right now from the SNY side. Not no 2-5ers, not no Northern Riders, not no Zapatistas. I think in order for them to have any type of longevity and be out there in the line, I think eventually you may have a whole new group faction that comes about, because all these groups, right? They're going to have to clean house, of course. But allegedly, the Northern Riders say that they won't accept anybody that snitches and so forth and whatnot, even though there's a lot of dudes that have debriefed, right? But there's a lot that haven't, though. They do check paperwork. They do remove their trash. They do all those things. So do the Zapatistas, so do the Nuestra Cosa, and all these other groups. They allegedly feel that they do not align with the traditional SNY individuals. Now, let's remember, back in the 60s and 70s, there was fucking PCs out there in the yards that were telling and doing all kinds of weird shit. You know what I'm saying? That were left to their own devices. So in talking to this Tango Blast, right, he was explaining, like, look, I think that this has a potential for California for, like, another group that kind of has no leadership, but they're independently rocked together. Because that's basically what the Tango Blast did is they didn't want to push no politics. They didn't want no leadership. They didn't want none of that stuff. They wanted to be able to do whatever they wanted on these yards. And if something was a kickoff, that's when they all united together. So that's my whole thing, that this could potentially happen is with all these SNY groups being thrown out there, they're not going to be able to try to win independently. There's no way around it. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to have to come to terms if they want to have any type of longevity out there in these lines. They're going to have to either form some type of alliance, come together as one unit, or they're just going to get dealt with.
Yeah. I know some dudes that I went back to middle school with, high school, even elementary school in some cases, that are both Tango as well as sindicatos. So I know a little bit, man. And to be honest, man, and this is no disrespect to either group if you guys don't feel this way. This is just the what I get out of it. I look at the Tango Blast and the Fresno Bulldogs as very, very similar, being that they went against the grain, so to speak. Not maybe necessarily, even how they act is pretty similar. Tangos are a lot, especially the ones from Houston. They're very, very, very similar to both Northerners as well as Bulldogs in their conduct, their stilo. Everything is real, real similar. As far as an SNY group being able to successfully defend itself, if not prosper, it would take something very different. This is only my opinion. This is my perspective. Very different than the traditional SNY groups. You know what I mean? They have no leadership. They have, I don't know, their communications is probably a little bit better just because everybody has cell phones now. But historically, they run up based on anarchy, bro. Where Flacco might say, hey, let's go do this, say we were one of those groups. And I'd be like, man, I ain't doing that. And that's where it lies. And you can't have, to be successful in GP, which is extremely structured. There's a hierarchy for every group. There's certain rules and regulations within your own group, as well as how you deal with other groups as well as staff. Now, they would have to fundamentally change their whole core beliefs, essentially, and organize and structure a little bit. And you'd have to start turning away people and getting rid of their own trash as well. You know what I mean? Right. Because there's a lot of people out there that they're just not going to bust a grape. A lot of them people in those groups are first termers who've never been nowhere, never done nothing. You know what I mean? They're all hopped up on hip hop culture, thinking they're gangsters and stuff, and they're not gangsters. And they'll find out that real quick when they hit one of those 3 or 4 GP yards that, hey, you know, them rap videos ain't what I thought they were. And let's just be honest, bro. There's some in there that are cut out for that life. There's some in there that are as dangerous, if not more dangerous, than a lot of the individuals on the GP yards. But they'd have to change, bro. They would have to blow up.
I'm going to disagree with you on that. I think that's what
sets never disagree with me, Flacco.
I think that's what sets them apart from the other groups. It's kind of like, look, it's like the Tango Blast, right? They have different Tango cliques all over the place, right? You know what I'm saying? If they come together under one kind of vendetta, right? But they're all running independent, but together under the same thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like how they have the what is it, the folks, the nation, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, because that's what sets them apart, and that's what gravitates people to want to join them is being able to be your own man.
I think you might have misunderstood. I was only talking about the California SNY. As far as Tango, like I said, they're similar to Bulldogs where everybody has a vote, but they all move in the same direction once they decide what they're going to do. That's the same as Tango, whether it's Bayucos, whether it's Austin, any of the Four Horsemen, any of the independent, you know, stragglers from out in the middle of nowhere. I don't mean that as far as they go. I'm only talking about in the sense that I'm talking about like riders and Deuce 5 and independent riders. They'd have to get rid of all that, form one group, have some sort of organization, and be willing to go that extra mile, or they're gonna get butchered.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to get at. Is get rid of all this fucking playboy shit, this 2-5 stuff, this, you know what I mean? And just if they want to coexist their plight, which is to stand against oppression or whatnot, I don't know what their beliefs are. Their beliefs are against, basically, from my understanding, they're against the bigger organizations, from my understanding. A lot of them really don't have no animosity towards whether Norteños or Sureños, unless you push into politics, and they're going to hate on you. You know what I'm saying? Those were the big issues back in the 90s when people started to fall off was, oh, that motherfucker's pushing politics. He ain't about shit. And see, a lot of these dudes have that mindset that, you know, the GP side is too political. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some people obtain leadership or status or positions without even fucking putting in work. Where there's dudes that would just want to tear your head off. And so if you got, I mean, I'm just saying with everything going on, I'm thinking about it, right? Yeah, you can click up for a while, but how long till you turn on each other? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in order for them to have any type of longevity, I'm thinking, especially if they believe in the core beliefs. If they believe in GP beliefs, but we're on an SNY yard, right? Which they say they do. They say they believe in paperwork. They say they believe in dealing with trash. They say they believe in dealing with chomos and all that, right? Which are all GP qualities, right? If they could deal with their trash, they could also be kind of recognized regardless if you agree with their beliefs or not. Even the Bulldogs would be able to embrace them if they did that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because basically, if you think about it, they have the same type of core beliefs as far as, you know, being independent. The Bulldogs do resemble the Tango Blast, except for the Tango have fucking way more fucking members, and they're making it work. Somehow it happened. So if a state like Texas that has all these prison groups and gangs, right, made this work, why couldn't California do it?
The way their prisons down there, the makeup of them, the way they're set up, the way their classification system and everything works, it's considerably more difficult to obtain SNY status there. So
yeah, that's true too.
Essentially, they had their hand forced. They didn't like a lot. Let's keep it 100. And this is no shot at anybody or group indirectly. A lot of them dudes on SNY, they're cowards, bro. That's just how it is. In Texas, their hand was forced to go out there and handle business against mostly the Texas Syndicate, and then also as well as some of the other famas, the other families from Texas. You know what I mean? So they didn't have a chance to go, oh, we're just going to go take over in these soft yards and stuff. They had to go to war. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like the Bulldogs. Bulldogs never went and hid nowhere. They say, oh, they're not with Northerners. They're not with Southerners.
Well,
that's administrative action. In Texas, they don't do that. You're going to go where they send you. You're going to sell up with who they tell you. Period. It's different.
See, Cali did have it like that at one time in the 90s. You know, like Jamestown, San Luis Obispo, certain prisons you went to, high desert, DR with new flowers. And that's when the numbers were low, though. The inactives and so forth, dropouts or degenerates, their numbers were low. Now there's a booming amount of them, bro. There's a lot of active people too, right? But the thing that I'm seeing is the more you see and witness, the more people start to fall off. You're good today, but 5 years from now, you may not be no good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just a fact.
That's throughout history. There's very few examples of people lasted more than 10 years. I mean, isn't it? Of course.
The only people I know that have maintained any type of status, right, are those who are doing life already.
Yeah.
That were on that life, doing life, period. Because everybody else that had maybe 7, 8 years or they got out, they eventually fucking flipped, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just a fact. But the ones that are doing life, there's no incentive. There's no incentive for a dude that has life to tell because they really don't give lifers parole dates. Now they're starting to. So you may see a couple individuals after 15 years, 20 years decide to say, oh, you know what? I put in my work, I'm done.
They have to flip though. They're not going to be, on an active 4 yard still, functioning under the rules, and they're not just going to let them out. It's just not going to happen. No NFs, no MAs, no ABs, no NLRs. They're not letting them out. Not unless they flip and debrief. Straight up.
Most definitely, man.
Do you have any examples of anybody who's got out like that without doing that? I don't.
Stork's out right now.
He had a life sentence?
Now, he didn't have a life sentence. I don't know any NF or metal that got out with any type of life sentence, that was able to parole. The only
it's not happening.
Were the ones that just either walked away from the lifestyle and were no longer active. Not everybody's had to debrief that went to SNY though either.
Yeah. No, yeah, you could see when I first went back to the pen after all that SNY stuff became the thing to do, I was still validated. This is prior to the end of hostilities, but SNY was booming. While I was in the hole in Tracy, the common understanding was you still had to debrief, you still had to do all kinds of stuff to be able to, and you still had to go to some program too where you had to settle up with like a Sereno or a Wood or an Enemy and all that kind of stuff. Nowadays they could get off the bus at reception and be like, I'm scared. Help.
Check this out though. Marcelli, back in 2000, I think it was 4, was the first individual to be put up for inactive status.
Who was that?
Right there. They made the revisals to the law, right? That if you have 7 years, this is what they did.
7 years clean. Yeah.
Yeah. And he wasn't really involved in the mix doing anything. He was they just were hating on him, bro. But that nowadays, I don't think they care. Now they're blasting NFMA tattooed on him like it's, like it's nothing, bro.
No doubt. Hey, I wanted to clarify something too, man. I seen some comments being put out about things that we may or may not know about the flowers, Nueva Flor. I talked to one of the original dudes. It's been in there since the early 90s. He's one of their people. We'll leave it at that. I'm not going to say his name. I know him personally. So if anybody doubts or has questions about anything I say, hey, you're more than entitled to your opinion. However, I promise you, you are mistaken. Just wanted to throw that in there. But, hey, like you said, Flacco, that could work. California is a little harder because of the way that – but, hey, with them trying to cut everybody loose to the main lines, like, we don't know specifically 100% who that they're going to throw out. We know it's the Bulldogs. We know it's the Flowers. But what about not necessarily weirdos, but just pussies?
I've been hearing that they may potentially be putting some people that shouldn't be out there on those yards, right? I've been hearing that, but I can't confirm that.
They're not going to.
They created this shit, though, period, bro. They created this shit with the fucking SMI and made it too fucking easy to just fucking roll it up and go over there. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
I never experienced anything. I've never been on 50-50. I've never been on a SMY yard, so I don't know the experiences out there, bro. Like, quiet as people say, they try to sit there and say, oh, you guys did this and that. Well, fucking last time I was in prison, I was still fucking active. You know what I'm saying? So I do not.
I wasn't active, but I was still validated in the hole. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All my shit happened afterwards and shit. So
I've never left the shoe program with a determinate shoe. Never.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how they operate. I don't have an understanding of them. That's the problem. Is I don't know how people really think out there.
I think it would blow your mind.
Huh?
I think if me and you just showed up one day to one of them yards, it would blow our mind. We just sit there and go.
We'll probably be getting off, huh?
Yeah. As soon as I seen a chomo, And they, you can tell them just by looking at them 90% of the time, oh, you know what he's in here for. They got that look, bro.
Just fucking chop them up, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's the thing too. I mean, that would be the hardest part. Would be that. You know what I'm saying? Those type of oh man, I'm chopping them up, bro.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. If I had life, or I knew I wasn't getting out, they'd have to put me somewhere, boy, because I go on a rampage with them dudes. I do it old school, tape 2 to my hands, and let's, hey, this is what you like to do. This is what I like to do, homie. You know, get fuck out of here. But see, hey, bro, I want to clarify something real quick, though, Flacco. Excuse me, that I said on the Rojo Room. Everybody seems to think that like I'm backing the Bulldogs or something like that. I am not whatsoever. I have no issue with the Bulldogs. I have no issues with North, South, nothing. To me, I'm strictly giving a perspective, and my perspective on that matter isn't to align with the Bulldogs or align with the North-South White Boys, nothing. What it is the administration knows by moving these individuals to these certain yards that somebody's going to get hurt, and they should be held accountable. I'm not cheering for nobody. I don't want nobody to get hit, bro. Unless I know you personally and I dislike you, then hell with you, or you're a weirdo. I don't want to see nothing happen to nobody. No Southerners, white boys, brothers, nothing. I don't want nobody to get hurt. My main complaint is that the administration knows people are going to get hurt and they don't care. Now, a lot of people are like, F them, F this, F that. They shouldn't go to prison. I get that as well. However, what if it was your brother? What if it was your son? What if it was your nephew? You would feel different. You know, it's easy to say with a whole bunch of faces with no names. But when the system that's supposed to be in there allowing you to rehabilitate yourself is putting you in positions where you either have to hurt somebody or be hurt, that's abuse of authority at the highest power. And that's all I'm saying. I don't choose sides.
I totally agree, man. It's, you know, like me, I don't have any ill will towards any active or inactive homeboys. You know what I mean? I'm trying to help people. If you want to rock with me, you don't have to rock with me. If not, I don't care. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There's no different layers to this like people think. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Whatever side you're on, it is what it is. You're still going to be titled or labeled.
Me and Flacco ain't on no sides. We're civilians, man. Straight up. But I'm going to call out some bullshit when I see it. And what they are doing to the Bulldogs is bullshit. Do it to the weirdos. I did a hashtag weirdo challenge on the Rojo Room. Send the weirdos to them main lines. Let them do God's work. Straight up.
They're going to eventually put actives on yards that are predominantly SNY or predominantly Bulldogs.
The same thing's going to happen. They're going to get smashed, bro. You got 200 dudes waiting. You get off the bus with 20.
Fucking licking your chops like this.
Bro, they have to take them straight to the hole. The only way they got any kind of action is to take them straight to the hole, 10-day CTQ them, let them get some weapon stock. Because if they just try to walk them across the yard, all the guards in the world ain't going to be able to stop some of them dudes from booking them.
How seasoned and educated are they to make a piece, though, bro? What tools do they have at their disposal? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, common sense, metal cuts metal. I used to always school the youngsters like that. I don't give a fuck. Grab your zipper and fuck cut that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? But that could take you, 4 or 5 days sometimes, bro. Got him with a little fucking zipper, bro.
Bro, we cut a piece off the door in Pelican Bay, bro. It took like 7 months, homie.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
A little 4-inch piece. Hey, me and Wino with teeth, bro, just single teeth from the clippers wrapped up in a piece of paper like this.
And
mad as a motherfucker.
Rojo, the bad thing about with the Bulldogs, right, is that they don't really have too many allied groups in the system that are going to sit there when they touch down 2 yards and oh, we're going to help you out. Here's a care package or whatnot. These dudes are over there licking their chops. Yeah. Now, apparently, apparently they have coexisted on certain yards with Sureños.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that whole issue also that happened in High Desert triggered everything that happened over there in Solano.
Oh, Salinas Valley, you mean?
Yeah, Salinas Valley. That triggered everything.
That's because one of the Flowers and some of the Bulldogs attacked some actives. Yeah.
I know for a fact the Norteños were going to possibly let them out, you know what I mean? See if they could coexist. That was a fact. And the white boys got involved because the white boy got the worst of it in Salinas Valley. Yeah. He got it bad.
Hey, what did we just say the other day when it was me, you, and Gunner, I believe, we were talking about what's going to happen? What did we say? These active groups are going to work together. It's just how it is. Right now, it's more of an active versus PC, inactive, whatever you want to call it. It's not really the big three against each other. It's the big three against those who rebel right now. And that's just the way politics are at this particular point in time. And the brothers just do the brothers. They might not have no issue with the Bulldogs, but they're not going to be trying to give them peace either with 300 Northern and Southerners on the yard, and they see that and be like, oh, you're siding with them. That'll create something for them. So they're going to be indifferent. It's not their business. Their name's Wes, and they're not in that mess.
I didn't think about that, bro. That's a shitload of motherfuckers on the yard, bro.
Yeah. Solano. You go to Solano when they don't like you, you're screwed.
Oh yeah.
You're getting the business. Any level 4, bro, but Solano's real thick, and they play they're going for the kill, bro. They're not going to get you off the yard. They're going to get you off the life. You know, they're coming for your win, bro. Straight up.
You should have some more information coming soon, man. I've had a couple people reach out to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just glad that we were able to drop it, man. You know what I'm saying? Because if anybody else dropped it, we'd be copying them. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, not to toot our own horn, we've been innovators on YouTube as well as Boxer and some other channels, you know what I'm saying? But you got a lot of people that try to take, if we just happen to do the same content, they'll be, oh, you're copying me. What? How? I don't even look at your channel. There's only so many topics and current things pop up every day, and we're going to address them, and we're going to address whatever we'd like to address. You know what I mean? And likewise, we're not hating. If we drop something about this right now and somebody else goes and does it, hey, man, I hope you win as well. You know what I mean? Do I want you to do better than me? No, but it was my idea, so I want to win. You know what I mean? But there's no YouTube police. There's never been a point in time where me and Flacco have used something somebody else has used that day intentionally without permission.
No. Yeah, no.
Hey, Gunner, we want to say something about your video, Boxer, etc.
I'm not even talking about that issue, though. That's already been disputed. I'm talking about other people sometimes, you know what I mean?
No, I got it.
If they drop it first, it's all good. But if we drop it, it's a fucking issue. We're bragging or boasting or this and that, bro. You know what I mean? Fucking, everybody has different layers to shit. You know what I mean? So you know what? I don't really give a fuck. That's just me.
No doubt. Anyway, man, Flacco had a good point about the way Texas gets down and the way California does. The only difference is in Texas, there's no S and Y. There might be one little part of one little prison where they send some real high-profile people like South Park Mexican, people like him. You know what I mean? But other than that, then this seems like what California's trying to do right now. Try to make it more that style where you don't got nowhere to hide, except the people they shouldn't allow to hide, being #weirdo challenge. They're going to let them still hide and mess with everybody else that's just trying to do their thing. Yeah. Hey, watch the lawsuits come, Flacco.
Oh, yeah, there's going to be tons of lawsuits. They know it, too.
Ooh, they're going to tear their ass up, and they're going to win. California's extremely liberal. You're going to go in front of that jury and be like, they knew and this, and they're going to be like, well, there's 32 incidents in the last 4 months where you've tried to put these individuals out on the yard and it didn't work. Hey, why did you continue to do it?
We'll advertise right now. Hey, all you attorneys are going to be filing class actions. Me and Rojar for hire.
I could use some feria. All right, you guys, man. This is your boy Whoa. That's Big Flacco. This is a convict's perspective, man. We're back at you again. Please hit the like. Please leave us a comment. Let us know your opinion on what we said, and we'll be happy to address it. You guys have a good one. We're out of here.